Hello, once again, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream right down here at Monster Hobbies Online. Hopefully, everyone can hear me. I'm a little bit further back, as you can see in this video. So, today I thought we would talk about the model kits of the fabulous 50s. Yep. So basically, I think the 50s kind of start at the end of 1949. And the reason why is because Ford started to bring out their brand new car for 1949. This was a totally redesigned body style. They called it sort of the shoebox. I guess that kind of became the popular term at the time. Nice to see some people starting to join in. So, anyway, 1949 sort of starts the 1950s. So, I have here, of course, the AMT 1949 Ford model kit. This one, of course, being the coupe. And again, another nice one of the old AMT classics. As you can see inside, I've got the nice green color in there with the upholstery stripes. This model kit is not painted, it's actually polished plastic. And you can kind of see it's starting to get a little bit yellow along some of the seams and whatever, but still ends up being a very nice kit. Now, if I can get that hood open, there's my rendition of the Ford motor. And the more I paint these flathead Fords, the more I realize I'm actually painting the wrong colors for the wrong years. It almost seems like more information comes out on the internet every day as to what colors these are. I do believe this engine in that time period was a copper or a gold kind of color. But anyway, as you can see underneath, it is quite nicely done. Again, another one of my favorite kits from the era. Now, the only difference really between the 49 and the 50 Ford is in here. In 50, they used a bigger amber turn signal light, whereas in 49, it was this little narrow bar. But again, very nice overall. So welcome back to all my Monster Hobbies mechanics out there. Remember, if you are looking for model cars, you can find it on our website, www.monster-hobbies.ca. We offer free shipping for orders over $75 all throughout Canada. The USA is a little bit different, but we can still mail out parcels and packages to everyone over there. And what else? I guess our Black Friday savings sale is now over since this is the 24th. I'd like to thank everybody for helping me make that into a success. It was quite nice. Got a bunch of you some savings. Now, of course, we accept credit cards and PayPal, and all your credit cards are secure on our secure shopping cart system. So anyway, let's get back to this. So this is a 1950 Ford. As you can see, there's those wider parking lamps in the front. I do believe there was a little bit of a trim difference in between the years. This one I have built up in the Romanian race car colors when I was 11. That's why it's number 11. And we used to have a book in the library that, hey, is this chat even working today? That's interesting. Doesn't look like my chat box is happening. Oh, what is happening here? Oh, no, that's weird. Something's going on. Okay, I see people are tuning in, so I'll type in hi. See if that works. Boy, how odd is that? I had to go to a pop-out section to find out what's going on with this thing. The joys of the internet. Okay. So anyway, there was a book in the library, and it was a slot car racing book, and in the back it had all these international race car colors. Let's turn this way. There we go. There's that Flathead Ford again in green. So this was sort of the Romanian race colors, blue body, yellow numbers, and a red hood. And then I found out later that the colors actually, the red is sort of an underpinning on the frame. I don't know. Those racing colors are really odd. I think they were sort of set up in the 1930s for the international races that were going on, like between Mercedes, Bugatti, Ferrari, and all those things. So every country had their own international racing colors, and these sort of change over time and all the rest. But I've tried an internet search for the Romanian racing colors now, and all I get is images of like modern Formula One where everybody's got a big sticker on the side and it says Romania or something like this, and it's wrong. It's all wrong. I want the original traditional classic car colors, but no one seems to be able to confirm this anywhere. So I don't know. It's one of those deals. But let's not dwell on that too long. So that same 1940 50 Ford um, set model kit has these cool custom front nose clips and everything. They were all designed, of course, by George Barris and Gene Winfield. Let's see if I can get a little away from that window. Now, these are the front ends. I built this one again when I was 11 or something like that. And I didn't quite understand or know about body putty and how to use them. I actually became an auto body collision repair mechanic later on. I don't know if that's a mechanic really. But I learned the secrets of getting this putty down perfectly. So in a future video, I've got two more of these that are unbuilt. Now there's another nose that has the lights at a angle. So I'm thinking of doing a video where I actually show people how to do these noses properly and get that putty work down perfect. This was a decal on the side that they haven't included in any of the future Ford kits, but this one is for that really cool I forget what the Ford was called with this. It had a special name for that year. It's not a Crown Vic or something like that, but something like that, right? And this was actually on the four-door, this interesting stripe decal, but they included it in this kit. And again, this model comes with, oh, another Flathead. This one had all the chrome pieces and the dual air cleaners and whatnot. It's interesting. I saw a old magazine, car magazine, that had a tour into Edelbrock or something like that. And every single configuration you can ever figure on any kind of car, they put it on a flathead Ford first. So you got like blowers, fuel injection, triple carburetors, 8 carb setups, 8 injector setups, you name it. They put it on a flathead. Very cool stuff. And then, of course, they call this a Carson top, I do believe, that only comes cut off halfway, or a Coupe de Ville top, something like that. So next up, this is a die cast. I know I'm cheating a little bit, but I liked it and I bought it. This, of course, is a 50 Ford, or 49 actually, Ford Woody station wagon. And unfortunately, I was trying to get the dust off the windshield. This time around, I thought I would dust everything first. But this has the opening doors. As you can see, it's all kind of tan in here. I bought this just to sort of fill out my shelf, but I think in the future I might pull it apart and paint all the plastic. Has a posable front axle. This one clicks into place. And unfortunately, though, the tie rod and the steering column end are tan plastic, but still pretty nice. Also has a little thing for hooking up the trailer. I do believe this is Mastio. Does not say, but made in China. Walmart had a whole bunch of these things about a decade ago. They're everywhere. I got another one coming up too. Now, next car is one that my dad helped me build when I was a kid because this thing was way beyond my skills. This is an Austin, drag racing Austin. These are Revell kits. Whoops. There, you can see the velocity stacks. I do believe that's a Ford 427 or 29, one of the two, or even a Ford 428. But yeah, this has the opening doors. Okay, so there you go. All that interior is really flat panels. The glass is came on a flat sheet and you just cut it out according to the instructions. There was a pattern on there. And as a kid, I just could not get this right. So my dad took whatever parts I had painted and everything, and basically he helped me glue it all together. So it's sort of a combination group project, I guess. Nope, the front end does not steer, but it's as finicky as if it did steer. So just so you know. Okay, so that's covers basically 1950, 49 to 51. Actually, 49 to 50. Okay, so here we have some something from 1951. How many of you have built this one before? AMT's 51 Chevy. Now this one I got, it was the 1986 kit, I do believe. Remember it had that, the car was, I do believe the car was copper on the box, but then down below it had that grid that shot out, and the car's sitting on this gridded orange grid. That was that kind of era for the Chevy. And this one, again, is just plastic, but you can see the nose is starting to turn yellow. This one's from 86, so I hate the carbon dating process whenever I talk. 1986, oh man. So there's the engine there. As you can see, that's the Stovebolt Chevy 6. Really nice kit. And again, it's got full windows all the way around, so no dust will ever get inside. These kits build up quite nicely. The only problem with mine is it was warped in the front. That was warped models were pretty common practice in the 80s. So you can see the gap in between here. This front fender should actually be up just a touch. But what can you do? Posable steering on these ones. I always find it funny that one wheel wants to go in more than the other. But I do believe that's correct to, it's not caster and camber, but it's a steering geometry. Well, caster and camber is your pivot of your front suspension. So Oldsmobile had a 0 camber. One is up and down this way, and the other is vertical that way, tipping your front end of your steering in. That's so that you can make the turn properly. And I know this may sound interesting, but and not concurrent with modern times. But the Oldsmobile had the 0 caster, so it was easier for women to drive an Oldsmobile. Yeah, see, not modern, but that's what they thought back in the 50s, right? They wanted to help the ladies. So this is another die cast. Oh yeah, Big Charlie says he's got the 51 Chevy Convertible. That's a good one. There's actually 3 of those. There's a convertible, the sport roof, which was this one. And then there's a fastback. So the only one I'm missing out of my set is convertible, but you're building the same model 3 times in a row. So anyway, here's the 51 Studebaker. This is a die cast. The reason why I got this is I've got a real one of these out in my backyard that's rotting away because, well, it was a bargain find. This is 1951. Raymond Lowery designed the bullet nose aspect of this car in 50. You can tell the 51s because they have the wraparound windshield, and 50, they still had the split. 50 has a slightly different nose propeller in here too. Yeah, toe in, Charlie. And then this one, oh, for some reason that hood is hard to open. There we go. This one has the V8 in it, and mine has the 6, my real car. But this is the first independent V8 motor to come into a car in 51 on the Studebaker. And that's the same motor that you'll find in the 53 Studebaker model. And then this one again has opposable front steering. Now I kind of got this one so I could do something with my own Studebaker and then like do the model first and see how I wanted to do the proper 51 out in the backyard. Mine's a 4-door. Doesn't have the nice total wraparound windshield. It's kind of got the partial wraparound, like maybe like that. It's when we pulled out of a barn. It's a total mess, and I haven't had an opportunity to work on it. Right now, it's storing all my storage shelves from the store because there's no front seat. I had a front seat, and a friend of mine threw it in the dump. Yeah. So anyway, okay, moving on. So I've got nothing for 1952, and I know there's one Chevy model kit, but it's a 32nd scale, and that was the Lindbergh one. That was the old Pyro model kits, or somebody called them Pyro, which is really weird. Pyro, Pyro. That's like pyromania. Buy Pyro model kits. You'll have pyromania. Anyway, bad joke. So we move into 53, and it's kind of unfortunate there isn't a 52, because 52 is like the last year of what some people call the old man body styles, but they also have like heavier chrome and heavier looks to them. And if you like the heavy look in cars, then the 52s are where it's at. Okay, so here's a 53 Studebaker, and this one was revolutionary for the time because it was pretty low. They called these the Studebaker low boys in the day. And another thing I like about the 50s is that's when my dad was in his early 20s. So this was sort of my dad's time. Whoops. When he got married, when he built the house, all that jazz. Didn't have kids till the 60s though, but so there's my Studebaker motor. And again, this is sort of a dark green, but I found out the Studebaker is more like a gray, foggy green. It's just unfortunate the colors in this camera are so washed out with that window and everything. You can see I wired the motor on this one. So again, pretty cool. This gold color on here is that, remember back in the day, you bought the Tester's paint carousel and it had like 25 paints in it or something, some wrapped on the bottom. Then there was like an upper level. This was a special gold that came with that carousel, and Testers has never re-released it. And it's quite unfortunate though, because over the era, all my fingerprints have really dulled up these panels. I don't know if you can really, well, maybe you can. So that was kind of the sad bit. This one has a steering, and it's true to the Studebaker steering in that there's two tie rods. It's not like a Chevy or Ford or something where the tie rod goes all the way across from one end to the other. This one has two, and it pivots in the center. And on my 51 Studebaker, I got a new motor for the thing. And the guy told me in order to get the motor in, you have to take this pivot off the center and drop the tie rods down because the oil pan and everything will go crashing into them. So the engine is sitting in a box in my backyard. So one day I'll drop that in there, but got to be careful, you know. And then from that same kit, you can build something totally insane, like this Studebaker land speed record car. Now here I use some wheels from, I think it was a Corvette. I like these wires, the ones that just come straight out. So again, that's another cool thing. Again, you got the posable wheels. I had to grind open the front wheel arches just to get these to turn in here because they're aftermarket tires. They also stick out over the wheel, the fender arch there. You get the chop roof in this, and they also give you a lowered bit of glass that again is all 360, so no dust will get in your interior with this. The clear hood. The sad part is you get a big glue mark right there where the hinge is. There's no way to really hide that except for painting the hood over. And in this, you get the blow-in Chrysler Hemi motor, which again, that one came out in 52. The Hemi and the Chrysler Saratogas, I believe, if I remember reading the book properly. There you can see the V-belt drive and everything. This thing would be a pretty mean machine to try to beat in a, well, I guess you can't race this on the road, so that would be your salt flats racer. There's my exhaust manifolds all noodling out. These were never painted, neither was the drive shaft. So they're starting to get a bit of yellow glue and everything on there over time. So that's the offering from Studebaker. And 53, of course, was the first year of the Corvette. So here, of course, we've got our 1953 Corvette Convertible. This one came out with white, painted white with the red interior. They called it Polo White. And unfortunately, there's some kind of silver streak mark on here. I guess when I was putting it on the shelf, it must have rubbed up against something else. Number one says, looks like Fireball 500's cousin from Utah. What, the Studebaker lowboy drag machine? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, and now I must plug the hobby shop, so hang on a minute. Okay, let's do this as commercially and cringy as possible. Are you looking for a Studebaker lowboy? Well, check this one out. We have our Miss Deal funny car from Revell. Yeah, sorry. I guess my my action salesman thing just fell to pieces. Anyway, so I've got this one for sale over at www.monster-hobbies.ca. I have done an unboxing on this one. It's really quite simple to build. Looks really mean and crazy. The body is a one piece. It's meant to be a fiberglass funny car, of course. So you can get this right now on our website, www.monster-hobbies.ca. I can ship down to the USA, Canada, New Mexico, anywhere you want, Old Mexico, Brazil, anywhere Canada Post can take that package you can get it. Just go over to our website now and you can find it there. Here, hang on. www.monster-hobbies.ca for Canada. I'd actually link that right to the real model, but I don't think we got the time for it. Okay, 1954 is coming up. The only thing is, I don't have any models for 1954, but some are made. So here we have the 54 Hudson Special. Number one, there is no Cyber Monday sale. However, if you type in YouTube, there is a special discount for that. So you can use that for Cyber Monday. Actually, you can use it anytime. Just type in YouTube when you go into our shopping cart and you get a discount. Probably not as slick as the one I just gave for the Black Friday, but still pretty decent. Anyway, here is the 54 Hudson Hornet Special. As you can see, we got a nice light ring right here. Oh, look at that. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Ooh, that's trippy. Picture yourself on a boat in a river. No, anyway, that's the shrink wrap reflection. Makes for a happy circle. Do. Follow the bouncing circle. Okay, I'm losing my mind here. All right, this is also available on our website. This is the 54 Hudson Hornet Special. And as you can see, I do believe Hudson still used the 1951 bodies on these, just updated them with 54 sheet metal. Got the little round taillights in the back, sort of like a 54 Ford. But again, this roof line is obviously Doc Hudson hiding underneath the sheet metal there. There was a Black Friday code, but it ran out. It was good to the 23rd. So just type in YouTube when you're on there. On our website, www.monster-hobbies.ca. Again, a Mobius model kit, so this one will come with a full color instruction sheet. Mobius makes some really neat stuff. I've got to attain one of these and build it, or at least unbox it. And the other one is the 54 Club Coupe. And this one, of course, has the different type of roof on it, much like that 51 Chevy. Kind of. No, maybe not. More like a Ford greenhouse. But again, the Doc Hudson low boy sheet metal, and you get the twin H power in this one. Well, that window is really just hogging up the light in here. So again, that's available on our website. I skipped some 1953 stuff. That's what happens when you live stream. Everything is now. And if you forget something, you've forgotten it now. This is the MPC/AMT 53 Ford flip nose. This, of course, is a big dragster machine that we got. There it is. I do believe I used 55 Chevy exhaust headers on this thing because they were easier to stick up underneath than the ones in the kit. I did want a little customization on this. I used the 53 Studebaker bumpers on this. Painted it silver and used some Tamiya red over the top. Did not quite turn out the way I wanted it to. I built this when I was a kid, of course. So there's the front grille. That comes in the 53 AMT model kit. You get all these nice frame rails underneath here. This thing is ready to go for the drag strip or street racing. Again, pretty nice. Easy to build. It's got a real 70s interior inside there. Don't know how well you can see that. But still. The taillights on this. These are the fenders that came in the 53 Ford AMT model kit. They're supposed to be 55 Chevy Cameo fenders. And then the insert here is the Corvette 53. These come in the AMT 53 Ford kit, which I'm going to go into right now. Okay, so I've got a few that I built over time on this. So this one is the first 53 Ford pickup truck model kit I ever built. This came in that Diamond in the Rough set. It came with the trailer and the 49 Ford, and the 49 Ford is all dented up. This was the one, and I painted this with a brush using Tester's flat green. My grandma loved this one when she was still alive. It's so rough looking though. And underneath the hood, you've got the nice DeSoto Super Fire Dome motor. And for valve covers, I used the air cleaners because I didn't know any better. But still, whatever. Yeah, so you got a lot of torque in this truck. This one also has a CB in there, right there. So you look through the windows, and the very dangerous oxyacetylene tanks that aren't hooked up to anything in that truck bed. Lots of fun. Yeah, this is, as Curb wrote, one of the best AMT kits ever made. Uh, what's nice is if you build this one, and then you get one of those Mobius 1970, 69, 70s Ford trucks, you will find that Mobius made their trucks in the same build fashion as these. I like that. That's really nice. Okay, moving on. I built this one. This is my more recent work. As you can see, you're getting better gleams and glimmers off this. This is painted with lacquer. This one, of course, is again the 53 Ford truck. And this one I built with the service stuff, the bumpers with the holes. Somehow my license plate got shredded in half here, so I got to find another one. I guess the decal dried up and fell off. I built this about a decade ago. I can't believe it. Why is time going so fast, right? This has the tubes and tires from the 34 Ford pickup truck, and then the Lost Arc welding came in with this as well. Masked off the front fenders so that it got the black in there. Now this is more of what the Ford Flathead is supposed to be painted in, this sort of gray silver color. Again, the engine is wired, but the wires I used were very thin. Oh, I'll show you this if you can see it. On this side of the engine, right where the carburetor is. Oh, you can't see it too bad. Maybe you can, I don't know. Sort of where my finger is, just on the edge there. That is an electrode, or a diode from the old Radio Shack. And what's nice about it is you've got a silver wire coming out, and then you've got the diode, and then you got the other silver wire. So the diode looks like an oil line filter. I got very clever back in the day. This kit is interesting because the exhaust manifolds, like normally when we think of an exhaust manifold, you think of the headers and then they come out behind. On these ones, they came out to the front and then they loop under that oil pan. Whoop. Which is right there. That's the front exhaust crossover, and then it hooks back up again and goes out the one exhaust pipe with gas on the filter. Yeah, exactly. The color in there looks like the gas. So yeah, that's pretty much that Ford truck there. Of course, with this one, I've got the spare tire underneath because I figured out, years later that that's how that goes. Again, one of those things where you got to lie on your back and undo that bar and hope the tire doesn't fall on your face. Inside, we got those nice chrome bed rails. That's bare metal foil. A tailgate goes down. And so there's, the other thing I got in here, if you can see this, I've got a seat cover, which was made out of flocking, and then I painted it. It looks really horrible, just like the old seat covers did. Or, well, blanket covers. But on there, that little box there, that's Chinese food. I made up a box and I coiled up some wires in there. Let's see if I turn it that way. There's a knife and a fork. There's a top of a 6-pack sitting in there. And then there's sunglasses also on the seat. Oh, and I just dislodged this. I have to reglue some of these. I brought out all my models from the 50s to show you guys. It took me about 3 hours to clean the dust off and set these up. And then I started knocking parts off. I was like, stop. You know those times when you just touch something and everything explodes? Yeah, that's how I had it today. So anyway, now coming up here is a custom version of that truck. Now these Pennzoil stickers. I don't think I'm going to read that. You guys get a little treat from number 1 there in the box. Okay, so this one I made up, and these Pennzoil things came from the decal sheet that comes in those garage scene model kits from Revell Monogram. I got those because they give you a big sheet to dress up your garage in. So I thought I'd use the Pennzoil on the doors. There's another one I want to do later on. It's Orange Crush. And I'm going to put that on the orange 1940 Ford pickup, or sorry, sedan delivery truck that I got. So, yeah, lots of dust on these. Anyway, so I got the AC spark plug cat on there. Now, the taillights are from a Cadillac. I do believe those came from the 58 AMT Chevy kit. The license plate is from a German Trabant model. And we got fangs on the cover. That did not turn out too well, though. There's a lot of, what do they call that, ghosting color in there. Oh, cool. Curb says that Drag City Castings does a nice custom tuck and roll interior for the 53 Ford pickup. I did not know that. There, okay, in the back here is that jack stand. I have a couple of those from everywhere. Tailgate drops down again. Then inside this one, we got a nice yellow Pennzoil colored Ford Flathead. Now, I can't quite remember where I got these cylinder heads from. I think it was one of the weird AMT 34 Ford kits or something like that. Sort of a dress up thing. It's got the tri-carbs on there as well. Note the leopard skin. That's all hand painted. And then we've got the reel-to-reel player on there. And then I've got one of those, how can I turn this around here? One of those cut down aircraft style steering wheels that was popular in the 50s. Because the AM3T53 has no interior door panels. The MPC one does. These ones have kind of door panels inside. I don't know if you're thinking about this kit or the flip nose here. Well, the flip nose has panels in there. I don't know. Anyway. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so again, another one that was pretty cool. I painted inside with a leopard skin on the door panels in here too. But yeah, this is all hand painted. I got really good at doing stuff back in the day. I don't know about today. That has yet to be seen. I guess I'll have to start building stuff. Well, don't forget to join us on Saturday, because I am doing that live stream group build with everybody. A little model car club. Trying to meet everybody at 1 o'clock my time, which seems to be 3 o'clock YouTube time, so I don't know where that's coming from. All right, what do I got next? Next should be 19... Okay, next up should be 1954, but again, there doesn't seem to be any kits that are on there. Well, the model that I'm building that Coca-Cola van that I got last Christmas. Last Christmas, I got a Coke van, and I wanted to build it, but it didn't happen. So in the next model car, Monster Hobbies Model Car Garage unboxing video, it's of that Coke truck. Now, I made that unboxing video last year because I wanted to, my goal was to have a model kit building video of that van. It's the Coca-Cola van, 1977 Ford Coca-Cola Econoline 150 van. That's what I'm working on. So I wanted to build that for throughout this year as a thing. Yeah, nice to see you, David, from Cape Breton. How's the weather out there? I heard there was supposed to be a big windstorm or something going on. The worst in history, apparently. So anyway, I was going to build that model. So I did an unboxing a year in advance for that thing. So you're going to see in that video the last time ever anything was recorded in my original hobby shop. Well, not original, but the last hobby shop I was in before I became Monster Hobbies Online. So that's a treat. And then after that, it's all recorded in my basement. So no 1954, but there is 1955. So what do we have for that? Well, we can start off with the last year of this style of Corvette. This is, of course, the AMT one. And for this year, they put in the V8 motor and gave it this big V emblem on there. This has the weirdest looking roof I've ever seen. But anyway, let's take that off for a minute, because if I tilt it, it'll fall. Unfortunately, I got a little bit of glue on the windshield. Now, I built these right around the year, I think it was 2002. Yeah, because Corvette was going to have their 50th anniversary in 2003. So I wanted to make a series of Corvettes that were all white with this red interior, just like the first one. So this is my 1955 contribution. And again, this has got the posable wheels. And then under hood, if I can get this open. There we go. Okay, careful. Under hood, you got the first Chevy V8 that came out, sitting underneath there. I think it's a 265, if I remember right. And then the 283 came a bit later. Don't think there's anything smaller. But the original Corvettes, of course, had the straight six in them, and everybody said, "Oh, sports car with a straight six, what a dog!" Right? Even though it was like the totally board stroke, ported and polished, fastest Chevy straight six you could ever have got, it still wasn't as fast as a Ferrari or some nonsense. So in 55, they dropped in the V8 into this. And then 56, they started to upgrade the body and everything, because these were the ones that had the problems with the windows and the ceiling and everything inside and getting wet in your car and all this nonsense. So that's what they did. Okay, where was it going to go? I've got 50s model cars, so many, they're all around everywhere in here. So I got to be careful where I'm putting stuff. Okay, so for all you kids out there that figure you've got to build the top of the line, best looking model on the first crack ever, and you're only like just starting, get that out of your mind, because this is where I started and nobody ever complained about this thing. This is, of course, the AMT 55 Chevy Nomad, because when I was young, they hadn't brought out the hardtop version of this yet, or well, the sedan or whatever you want to call it. So this one is all painted with fluorescence. This is like real 80s for you. Painted with the Testors fluorescent paints. If you guys ever used those, remember that smell? It's the only time you ever smelled that smell was from these, sort of like a weird, I don't know. I have to open up one of them to remember what the weird smell was. I got some in the basement. Again, posable wheels on this. Now, I do think I figured this one out. I don't know if my dad helped me with the wheels on this, but all the rest is me. This was one where you could cut the roof off and then put on the El Camino style roof. Hey, Hal, nice to see you again. Thanks for liking the show. Now, one thing that I found interesting with these Chevy Nomad kits is something got lost, and I'll show you what that is. So here we have the bench seat sitting in the back, and I put, you're hauling junk at the quarter mile, right? Like, imagine, right? Anyway, so there's the bench seat for the rear. And one thing that is no longer in these kits, which I don't understand what happened to it, is the back of the seat insert. There actually was one in the 1986 kit, which is what this one is from. And then the interior inside of this, it's got those nice bucket seats in there. And I put some racing helmets in because I had two of these. And yeah, they came with one racing helmet each, but I put two in. And then there we got your velocity stack sitting up underneath. I don't know what happened to the radiator hose. I don't think I ever put it in. And then your gas tank right in front. So definitely drag ready. Although the paint job is pretty messy. But again, I was like 8 or 12 or 9 or 10 or something. Painted on the green stripe with a brush. The number 4 came from the, I think it was this kit. No, the 64 Chevy Impala. That's where it came from. And I kind of put it on there, but then I had to cut a hole in it, so it doesn't make any sense. The tailgate used to open, but it broke the little tabs off the end. My dad made a little hingey thing in there that doesn't count anymore. Trying to help me fix this thing up, but to no avail. Anyway, there's the frame rails, as you can see. Again, when you're painting these things, make sure you paint everything underneath because it'll show up. And if you're entering a model contest, these are telltale signs that your model's going to get passed up for some kind of award. Yeah, So you never want to have a plastic window somewhere if you want a fully painted kit to win at a model kit show, unless you're doing something like polishing your plastic out, and that's sort of a pass, but kind of not really. Anyway, so sticking on to the drag racing theme. Now, this one you're going to really love. I think some of you have seen this model in photographs on my website and whatnot. In fact, it's the one that is on my website. And I showed this to George Barris, and here it is. This is the 1955 Chevy Nomad as a total dragster. And I built this, I guess it must have been 10 years ago now. Where's my time going? This one I pinstriped, and this was with the Artist One Shot actual pinstriping paint. I painted up this like tiki head on there, and then all this in the back. I don't have the 2013 Green Mustang kit, but everything you can find here. I'll just put this in again. That's the website there, and you can dig around and find the cars. It's not really too hard, just down the side there. Then there's the hood. That's got that cool Chevy hood scoop they threw in there. The front end, that's the grill, the Buick grill that comes in the AMT 57 Chevy kit, and I actually cut the edges off of it and got it to fit in. So here's the story with this is I took this to one of the last Rocky Mountain model car shows at the World of Wheels, and George Barris was at the World of Wheels. And Barris, okay, I don't know if I should get the hood off. Barris loved this thing so much that he signed underneath the hood with the silver Sharpie. He gave me a card, business card, to Barris Customs. No, there's no 54 Buick. At least not that I know of. If there is, it's really old. It's going to cost you a fortune. Anyway, so he signed the business card. He gave me a Barris photograph picture of him standing around the Batmobiles. And he wrote on the back of the card, great work on your model building, something like that. And if you're ever in California, come down to Barris Customs and build model cars for me. Well, that was great, but I have a wife, a kid, a house, and everything else in a hobby shop. How am I going to go down to Barris Customs? And unfortunately, George Barris passed away. So, boy, now would have been a good time, eh? Since I'm Monster Hobbies online and I can be anywhere in the universe. Ah, well, c'est la vie. So on the dashboard, I even did some pinstriping in there. And then I've got pinstriping around the inner bucket seats. Again, sorry for this camera being so crummy. There's your fire extinguisher in there. And then there's your up and underneath, all the nice chrome on the differential and springs and everything. So again, very nicely done. Now, this. Okay, don't fall. Don't fall. Okay, so 1955. Now, speaking of model kits that are for sale, I do have the Jukebox 55 Ford from Revell. That again is www.monster-hobbies.ca. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do a write-up this time around, so the links are in the description after the video. So I'll have to do that a little later. This one again is a Revell kit, full-out modified race car. Another cool kit we have for sale, and I can ship anywhere. Prices on the website are in Canadian dollars. We accept PayPal and then Visa, MasterCard, that kind of jazz. Not American Express, unfortunately. But anyway, we have our secure shopping cart system, so none of your information is ever used in any way outside of just getting model kits. We ship worldwide, $75 free shipping. Free shipping on orders over $75 within Canada. For USA, a little different, but of course, none of these things get processed like automatically. You put in all your info, like say you want this kit, you go to the shopping cart, You click that you want this, you click ready to purchase, right? So from that stage, you put in all your details and everything, and then the transaction is stopped. Nobody can see it except for me. So I get to see what's going on. If everything works out okay, I put it through. If it doesn't, or, like if there's additional shipping or something, somebody didn't click the buttons right or whatever on their end, then I can email you and everything else and we can straighten it all up. So it's all just you, me, and the model kit, and that's it. Nothing else gets transferred anywhere ever. And even if I go to look back like a month later, as long as that thing is processed, it zeroes out any of that credit card information. Even I can't see it for a later day. So if you come back a week later and want to buy something else, we have to do the whole process all over again. It's for everyone's safety. The website's priced in Canadian dollars, free shipping over $75. And if you type in YouTube at the shopping cart, you will get a discount there. So that's always good for my Monster Hobbies mechanics, which are all of you guys, because we're all mechanics in a small scale, right? Okay, 1956 coming up. So pardon my back. So for 1956, we have this nice 56 Ford, another one that I built as a kid. The top is the actual color that the plastic came in. I really liked it back in the day. And the bottom is, see if you remember the number, I do believe it's Testers 1148 gloss brown. See if you guys know that one. I could be wrong. 1148 could be flat black, but whatever. Oh, 116. No, never mind. So again, you can see that the door is open on here. This is the Crown Vic with the breadbasket handle on the top, and of course the big sunroof. Steerable wheels on this, and then the opening hood showing you that nice Ford motor. I do have another one of these that I was trying to build, and there are some nice George Barris, Gene Winfield type custom pieces that come with this kit, but again, I don't have either of those finished. Another thing that I want to try to do in future. The future is scary. So now I've got kind of a before and after here. Not really before and after, just same model built at two different time periods in my life. This, of course, being the 55 or 56 Ford Thunderbird from Monogram. Really good kit to put together. Nice and crisp and tight, There's my interior painted by a brush by a kid about 12 years old. The metallic red on here, again, is another Testers paint color, because back in the day, Testers was king. The glass roof on the Del Rio from the 56 Ford AMT, maybe. I guess if you can cut it in there. Anything is possible with a hobby saw. Patience and glue. There's our T-Bird motor in there. 55 and 56 is when Ford started to make their hoods flip open like this, which was a safety feature, and actually is a lot easier to work on a car, really, because look at this, is right out of the way of everybody, and you can get in and reach. The only spot there that isn't the way of is the radiator guy. But again, brass radiator on the top. So I not quite understand that the brass radiators are actually painted over. There's some Oh, there goes the wheel. Oh man. Well, that's a fun surprise for the day. There's our Edelbrock decals on those mufflers. See the seam line up the center. Got an interesting story about seam lines and engine blocks. One day I found out that automatic transmissions have a seam line up the middle like this, So I built the AMT 60, what is it? The 69 Ford Talladega. And I built it with a seam line up the center because I found out that automatic transmissions have that. So I took it to a model car show. Everything's perfect on this thing. It's painted with enamel or lacquer and all that. The guy judging turned it over and he's like, "Oh, there's a seam line up the transmission." Instant fail. Loss of points. And then that's when you realize that the judge does not know about seam lines and automatic transmissions. So I don't know where that wheel just flew off to. I'll have to find it later and hopefully don't step on it and crush it. Okay, so now here's the same model again. And this was built much later. Again, you can see this was like one of my first attempts with using an airbrush. Is it me, or does that headlight look really weird? Will this headlight look really weird? There we go. Woo! Anyway, so this was actually, again, Tester's copper, but I mixed it. I don't know if I got my mix right because it came out really pebbly. And then I clear coated over the top. And then the roof is, of course, painted black. You can see underneath it's red plastic along that edge. I scraped the paint off here so that I wouldn't get a paint burn in here in the future. But again, the charcoal and black interior turned out pretty nice. Used bare metal foil up around the spare tire cover. I got wrinkles in it. It's hard to make bare metal foil bend circular, but I did my best, just like in Scouts, do your best. You can see I missed a bit with the copper. There's red inside there. I guess this could be a repaint. There's underneath. No Edelbrock manifold stickers on there. Just totally wrong at any rate. But there's our Thunderbird engine. Again, if you can get this kit, this is 1/24th scale. So if you're really set on 25th scale, this will just be a little bit bigger to you. But overall, I mean, it's excellent build on here. So watch for it each time Monogram brings it out again. Maybe, I wonder if Atlantis has got this mold now. It's really hard to know what they got out of that big deal. Or is the Thunderbird going to come from Revel, Germany, maybe, perhaps? Okay, so next we move into 1957, and this is where it seems like all the model cars really are. So let's start off first. Oh, I found the top for that Ford. Okay, so number one mentioned, yeah, let's do that way. Number one mentioned the Del Rio. If you're looking for one, I have one. Over at www.monster-hobbies.ca, you can, of course, build this as a police car. And yeah, I think that glass could fit in there. I couldn't see why it wouldn't. Again, hobby saw and a little bit of ingenuity. Maybe trace out the inner edge of that window and then draw it on your roof to cut out. Again, there's that nice Ford engine in there. The top, tub that one out, Shep's Body Shop. How'd that go? Did that go okay? What did you use for a chassis? Anyway, again, you can find this at www.monster-hobbies.ca. And then for, oh, maybe I'll wait a second there. Okay, so 57. I'm looking at like models 360 around, or 180 around me. So what do we want to see first? How about Corvettes? Okay, so carrying on in that white, polo white with the red interior, there's my 57 Chevy with that nice red stripe inside there. Nice artillery type wheels on this. Now I think this is monogram, if I remember correctly. 1/24 scale. Again, turned out really nice. There's that interior. Everything is dusty. Some of these cars are just like wearing sweaters. It was horrible. Especially, I've got the Elvira one coming up. Oh, this was your first model.